said, Jeb Bush yesterday, rather infamously, came out and said, my aspiration for the country, and I believe we can achieve it, is 4% growth as far as the eye can see. Now, first of all, let me say 4% growth as far as the eye can see. There is a way to do that. The only time in the history of the United States when we had 4 consecutive decades of growth above 3% GDP, annual GDP, 4 consecutive decades, was the 1940s, the 1930s, the 1940s, the 1950s, and the 1940s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And then came Reagan. Now, if Jeb Bush is going to continue Reaganomics, you're not going to get this. But he's got a new strategy, right? Did you get the clip of George W. Bush talking about the all-American family? No? Okay. Well, remember back during the 2004 campaign, and George W. Bush had this woman up on stage, and he says, so you working? And she's like, yeah, I work 3 jobs. And he says, oh, isn't that just great? That's the all-American story. I don't think working 3 jobs should be the all-American story. But in any case, apparently George Bush's brother Jeb, or John, actually, John Ellis Bush, thinks that it is. Because he said, my aspiration for the country, and I believe we can achieve it, is 4% growth as far as the eye can see, which means that we have to be a lot more productive. It means that people need to work longer hours. So clip 11 here, this is what's... Oh, Bernie's here with us?
How are you?
Okay, great. I was just going to play a clip of Senator Sanders, but apparently he is joining us. Senator?
Hello. Hello, Tom. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Thank you so much for stepping off the floor vote and being with us. How does the hour look for you?
Good. We'll probably be zigging in and out. There are some votes on the elementary and secondary education bill. But picking up on your point, I heard what Jeb Bush had said. And I think many people don't know this, Tom, and I've been talking about this a lot around the country, is that because of the collapse of the American middle class and because of wages have not kept pace with inflation for many, many years, the truth is that the American people today are working longer hours than are the people of any other major industrialized countries. And the Japanese are very, very hardworking people. We work 137 hours a year more than the Japanese, 260 more hours per year than the British, and almost 500 hours a year more than our good friends in France. And when Bush talks about Americans having to work longer hours, what he should know is that 85% of working men and 66% of working women are already working more than 40 hours a week.
Wow.
So you got a situation now, and we don't talk about it, but I get around the country and I see people, and they are stressed out. It's impacting family life. It's impacting a parent's relationship to their kids. It's impacting whether or not families are going to have more children. I often tell the story of a woman I met in Burlington, Vermont, a couple of years ago, and she said that she's working 3 jobs. Her husband's working 2 jobs. They have 1 child. They want more children, but they just don't think they could be the kind of parents they want to be under those conditions. And that's speaking for millions of people. Meanwhile, there has been a huge increase in worker productivity, explosion of technology. So the question is, why are people working such incredibly long hours? Why do we work longer hours than any other major country? And the answer is that most of the new wealth and income generated from this new technology is going into the top 1%, the top 2%. And that's the issue that we've got to deal with. So I think to Governor Bush, his idea that the American people are working, should work longer hours, well, I disagree. I think maybe we need an economy that works for the middle class and working families where wages and income go up, not that people need another job on top of the 2 jobs they already have.
Yeah.